Yeah, so the Flash exists. It definitely is a thing that happened. This movie is kind of something else. Calling it a film may be a bit generous, as it feels more like a cobbled together mess. A mess of ugly CGI babies, ugly CGI clay people, ugly CGI body doubles, and even the way he runs looks terrible. This movie clearly has a CGI problem. Not all of the effects are this hideous, but a large portion of this movie is disgusting. The actual cinematography of the film isn't too bad. It looks better than the majority of Marvel movies, as not everything is soaked in muddy grey. The film can look moody when it wants. Through colour and cinematography, tone is conveyed well enough. Half-decent cinematography isn't enough to save this film from its awful visuals, however. It really takes you out of the movie. It barely feels like a film because there is absolutely zero immersion. You are constantly being reminded that yes, this is a film, and yes, this is a disaster. The writing of The Flash didn't work for me either. Comedy in this movie works very rarely, having one or two solid jokes. The rest of the time I felt I was laughing at the movie rather than with the movie. When Barry runs for the first time, it was so goofy, I was kind of laughing my head off. It's just so bad. The idea of having an older, more mature Barry mentor a younger, less experienced Barry isn't a bad idea. But the way the character is written and the way he is performed by Ezra Miller just doesn't work. Young Barry is so annoying. I don't know why they write the character this way. It's more Bart Allen than Barry Allen. They've made the fact that he's an annoying character a character trait, and they even address it in the movie. This isn't who Barry Allen is, and the whole rendition of the character isn't for me. I actually liked him in Justice League, especially the Snyder Cut, but the more material he's given, the worse it gets. Let me tell you about how bad it gets. Wonder Woman shows up at the beginning of the film. Barry gets hold of the lasso of truth and reveals to the audience that he's heard of sex, he's just never had it. And that's the level of writing Barry is given. Truly 12 Angry Men level of stuff, top notch. The rest of the characters are written quite well, however. Sasha Calle's Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Batman are the standouts of this movie. Both of their performances are great, Sasha Calle especially. She never misses a beat. I would have even liked to see more of her. I hope she stays James Gunn's Supergirl in the new DCU. I've been reading through the comic that they're basing the upcoming Supergirl movie on. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And Sasha Calle fits perfectly for this version of the character. I don't read a lot of comics. I'm more of a movie guy, if you couldn't tell. But I picked this one up and it's really good so far. If you have an interest in this character or saw The Flash and really liked Supergirl, please check out Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Michael Keaton as Batman also works nicely in this film. I think that he's having fun with the performance and that's really good to see. It is kind of a shame that he's been wasted on this rather than a Batman Beyond movie, which honestly, I don't know, there was rumors about it, but with The Flash bombing so hard, I don't think that Michael Keaton is going to come back for a Batman Beyond film. His Batman did seem a bit out of place in the third act. You've got all these alien creatures and superpowered people, and then there's just this old man flying around in a bat-shaped plane. Ben Affleck's Batman was also in the movie for like 5 minutes. He was good. I always liked him as Batman. And again, it's kind of a shame that we won't see him in his own film. I thought the Flash's suit didn't look very good. I know some people liked it, but I prefer the one from Justice League. It was alright, just kind of a rubbery mess with a weird Lego head. It was fine. The Flash's suit isn't exactly this movie's biggest issue. Now, we need to talk about Ezra, because this performance was very kind of 50-50. Half the time he was alright, and half the time he wasn't. His performance as the younger Barry was definitely... it was annoying, to say the least. But the character was kind of written to be annoying, so it's a hard performance to go, yeah, that's annoying. But the performance in it of itself was quite irritating, along with the writing of the character, so it all kind of blends together to one annoying mush of a character. I said that the performance felt kind of 50-50 for me, and yeah, the younger Barry is a much bigger issue, but even with the regular Barry, I felt some of the emotional moments worked while some of them didn't. I felt some lines were delivered well and some lines weren't. The comedic lines and the emotional ones. Sometimes he'd deliver a joke and just the line delivery wasn't really there. I just didn't love this Flash performance. Ezra Miller isn't the Flash and should be recast moving forward, and that's without even getting into all the controversy. One thing that I will say was that Ezra gave a good performance in the emotional climax of the film. The climax actually works in this movie. Both the actors do a great job. It's one of the better scenes of the film. Too bad the ending of the movie kind of throws away Barry's character arc, as he was supposed to learn to not meddle with the past and accept the death of his mother and the conviction of his dad. But we go on this journey and he still changes the timeline, freeing his dad, leaving us in the same position we were 2 hours ago. In another universe, this time with George Clooney's Batman. For this movie, the ending throws away the protagonist's character arc and pretty much renders this film useless. But it was a good way to dump these characters in another universe and hopefully start fresh with James Gunn's DCU. This was a really fun time, however. I had a lot of fun, even if that means laughing at the movie as part of that experience. The action wasn't too bad either, with some scenes actually being quite good. I really liked when they rescued Supergirl. I thought that was a good moment. We get to see what Michael Keaton's Batman is capable of, and it was just a fun, good action set piece. The interactions between these characters, Flash, Supergirl, and Batman, were really nice, and the movie could have spent more time with them as a unit, or a broken up, thrown together Justice League like the movie brings up. The only reason why I say this is because I feel like those are the elements about this movie that works the best. But in an ideal world, we would have gotten a Flash movie where the Flash and his character's writing was the standout. I would like a Flash movie where the Flash and his story should be the best parts about his own movie. Unfortunately, the bad heavily outweighs the good here, and what we're left with is a cobbled together mess of a movie with an emotional core that kind of works, but throws the meaning out of the window in the last second. I had fun with this, but fun just isn't enough. With my score, I'm going with 2 out of 5 stars. A 4 out of 10. And that's my Flash review. Hope you guys enjoyed it.